Why did she walk away like you never mattered? Why does it feel like you're the one who lost everything and she's out celebrating? Why do you feel this fire in your chest, yet nothing you say ever feels like enough? She doesn't care, not like you do. And the more you try, the more power you give her. Comment, silence is power, if you're ready to finally win. Number 1. Silence breaks the cycle. You wake up and the first thing that hits you is the memory. The last message she sent. Maybe it was short, cold, dismissive, or worse, completely unread, left on scene like your emotions don't carry weight, like your effort, your commitment, your time was just background noise in her story, and you sit there scrolling through texts, searching through social media, pretending you're just checking. But deep down, you're desperate for some kind of sign that you still matter, that this wasn't all for nothing. But let's tell the truth. You don't find peace doing that. You find more questions, more confusion, more self-loathing, and in that loop, in that space between wanting answers and hating the silence she gave you, you start losing yourself. And that's the cycle, the one that breaks men without ever lifting a finger, because it's not her leaving that breaks you. It's you choosing to stay in the space she vacated, mentally waiting for her to return to the throne she abandoned. But this isn't love anymore. It's addiction to attention that's no longer yours, and the longer you chase it, the more it owns you. The more your worth is measured by her responses, her reactions, and not by your own vision, your values, your future. And that's where silence becomes your only real option, not as a tactic, not to make her miss you, but to regain your self-respect, because right now she's not thinking about you. She's out with friends, maybe talking to someone new. She's posting cryptic quotes or attention-bait selfies, and you're reading between lines that were never written for you, feeding your anxiety, reinforcing your belief that she moved on because you weren't enough. When in reality, she detached long before she left, and all the emotional weight, all the damage, all the questions, she's handed them to you, and you carry them like a man hoping to fix something broken with words. When what's broken is your own ability to walk away when you're no longer respected. And that's the first lesson silence teaches you. It exposes how much noise you've tolerated, how much chaos you've confused for connection, how much peace you gave up just to feel wanted by someone who never valued your consistency. And the moment you go silent, truly silent, you start to feel it, the withdrawal, the desperation, the panic, the voice that says, if I don't reach out, I'll lose her forever. But that voice doesn't belong to your future. It belongs to your fear, the fear of being alone, the fear that maybe this was your last shot, the fear that no one else will see your worth. But those are the fears she implanted when she treated your loyalty like an option, and silence starves those fears. It forces you to sit in the discomfort and realize that she isn't your beginning, and she sure as hell isn't your end. And you'll never get to your next chapter until you stop rereading the last one, so you go silent. Not just from her, but from the noise, the opinions, the friends who tell you to just move on, as if you haven't tried, as if forgetting someone is just a decision and not a daily discipline. And in that silence, you begin to confront the man you were, the man who over-explained, over-apologized, overgave, and you begin replacing him with someone sharper, calmer, someone who doesn't beg for closure from people who weren't mature enough to communicate. And it's in that process that the transformation begins, not with books or quotes or videos, but with moments, silent ones, where you sit with your own thoughts and decide that your time, your attention, your effort will never again be poured into someone who couldn't even offer consistency. And the next time she reaches out, and she will, because silence triggers curiosity more than confrontation ever could, you won't answer. Not because you're bitter, but because you finally understand that your peace was never hers to give back. It was yours to reclaim. And now you walk into your days not hoping she sees your progress, but knowing that whether she does or not, it doesn't matter, because you see it, you feel it, and you're finally living from a place where love isn't owed. It's earned, and silence isn't punishment. It's protection, because in that space you created, you grew, you rose, you rebuilt without her and despite her, and that is the man who is dangerous, not to her, but to every version of you that ever settled for less. And if you're ready to go deeper, if you're ready to not just survive this, but rebuild every part of your mind, your identity, your direction, the Stoic relationship blueprint is now yours. This isn't just a book, it's a weapon, a framework built from timeless Stoic principles designed to make you emotionally untouchable, clear, and powerful again. And now, it's available in audiobook, so you can walk, train, drive, even breathe with this knowledge playing in your ear, shaping your decisions every day. You don't have to sit and read, you just press play and let the truth rebuild you. The link is in the comments, because life's too short to keep living the same story. It's time to write a new one. Number 2, protect your energy. She drained you in ways you didn't even notice until she was gone, slowly, quietly, casually slipping into the parts of your day you never defended, taking over your time, your focus, your mental clarity, turning your mornings into stress and your nights into overthinking. And you let it happen because you were too busy trying to be the version of a man she claimed she wanted, too caught up proving yourself, hoping that if you were consistent enough, patient enough, understanding enough, she'd finally choose you fully, not halfway, not when it's convenient, but all in. And that never came, did it? Instead, you got the roller coaster. Hot today, cold tomorrow, affectionate one week, emotionally distant the next. And every time she pulled back, you worked harder, blamed yourself, bent over backwards to fix it, thinking if you just said the right thing, gave her space, gave her love, gave her more of you, it would change. But it didn't. And what's worse is it wasn't even about you, because you were never the problem. Her lack of stability, her emotional immaturity, her craving for chaos masked as spontaneity. That was the issue, and you were the casualty. But now she's gone, or maybe halfway gone, still watching your stories, still liking your posts, still throwing you emotional crumbs to keep you hooked while she explores other options. And you keep replaying it all, every moment, every conversation, trying to find out what you missed, what you did wrong. But that's how you keep bleeding, by trying to extract logic from a situation built on manipulation and ego. And the first thing you have to do to reclaim your power is stop letting her live rent-free in your head. Stop letting her be the filter through which you see your day. Stop allowing your energy to orbit someone who couldn't even match your loyalty, because every time you break your own boundaries to check in, to see how she's doing, to just say one thing, you are reinforcing the lie that she was worth it when she wasn't. And it's time you stop trying to make her your piece and start becoming your own. And that begins with discipline. Not the fake kind, the kind that posts quotes but still folds at midnight when the loneliness hits. The real kind, the one where you build your entire day around purpose, structure, silence, and elevation, where your calendar is filled with things that build your future, where your mornings are yours again. No more scrolling through old messages hoping for a dopamine hit. No more watching her stories trying to decode if she's happy. No more sending your energy across a digital wire that doesn't return it. You take it all back, starting with your time. Wake up and sweat. Push your body till it hurts, because pain in the gym is better than pain in your chest. Then read, not to sound smart, but to rebuild your mental blueprint, to replace the mental images of her face with knowledge, with wisdom, with strategies to build a version of yourself so complete, you stop even noticing her absence. You eat clean, not to impress her if she scrolls your page, but because a man with self-respect fuels his body like it matters. You say no to outings that waste your focus. You cut off friends who only want to gossip or drink or distract you. You replace every leak in your energy system with discipline because your time is currency and you've spent enough of it on someone who saw you as replaceable. Now you become the man who's too expensive to be accessed by chaos. You start writing again. Your goals, your vision, your standards, and not just writing but tracking, executing, measuring. You look in the mirror and stop asking, "Why did she leave?" and start asking, "Why did I stay?" That's when the shift happens, when your healing becomes a mission, when your focus sharpens to the point where her name doesn't even ring in your head anymore, not because you forgot, but because she no longer fits the identity of the man you've become. And the key to all of this is energy conservation. Not just staying off her page, but off the pages of every woman who doesn't pour back, off the opinions of people who can't relate, off the activities that leave you drained instead of built, because healing isn't passive. It's built in the trenches of routine, in the silence of no reply, in the restraint of not chasing a breadcrumb, in the refusal to be baited by old patterns. And as the days stack, you start to notice something different. You wake up lighter. Your mind stops drifting to what she's doing. Your heart stops aching at every reminder. And that's when you realize the cost of keeping her alive in your head was higher than you thought. Because it wasn't just your attention. It was your ambition, your confidence, your drive, all placed on pause while you waited for someone to validate you. And when you finally pull the plug, when you truly go quiet, not just in voice, but in presence, she notices, not because she suddenly loves you, but because attention is addictive, and your silence makes her question her own worth, her own appeal, her own power. But by then it won't matter, because you'll be so locked into your mission that her curiosity is irrelevant. And that's the goal, not to get her back, but to get you back. The version of you before her, or better, the version of you that never needed her to begin with. And to get there, you protect your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. Number 3, rebuild inner strength. You sit in silence and feel the weight of everything. Her absence, your confusion, the way your world shifted overnight without warning. And for the first time, you're not trying to distract yourself, you're just sitting with it, fully aware of the ache in your chest, and the fog in your mind, and the tension in your gut. And in that moment, you realize something terrifying but true. Nobody is coming to save you. Not your friends, not your family, and definitely not the woman who walked away. And that is the moment you stop being a victim and start rebuilding, because the version of you that clung to her, that made excuses for her coldness, that redefined his own values just to be tolerated, is now dead. And what you build next will either become your cage or your crown. And the first step is honesty, because real strength isn't how much you can bench or how many hours you grind. It's whether you can look at your own reflection and admit that you betrayed yourself long before she betrayed you, that you ignored the red flags, that you tried to be agreeable when you should have been assertive, that you lowered your standards in the name of keeping the peace, when all it did was turn you into someone she didn't even respect, because she sensed your weakness, your desperation, your emotional dependency. And no matter how much you tried to hide it with logic or kindness or effort, she saw it, and she lost attraction, because that kind of man is not grounded. He's anxious, reactive, easily manipulated, and rebuilding means you never become that again. And this isn't about changing for women, it's about becoming so stable, so clear, so emotionally unavailable to nonsense that no woman can ever play you again, because you don't chase energy that disrespects you. And it begins with rewiring the way you see yourself, not based on who left you, but on who you're becoming. And the only way you do that is by creating new reference points, new data for your brain to latch onto when doubt creeps in. So you stop wasting time thinking and start executing. You create a schedule that doesn't depend on motivation, a fitness plan that doesn't rely on aesthetics, A vision that doesn't include anyone who can't respect your presence. You write down your values, things like loyalty, discipline, clarity, and every day you act in alignment with those values whether or not it's convenient, because you're no longer governed by impulse, you're governed by intention. You stop explaining yourself. You stop asking people to understand you, because the more you explain, the more you shrink, and real strength is silent, direct, undeniable. It shows in your eyes, your routine, your energy. You stop venting to people who don't live the life you want. You cut out the fake friends who only want to see you broken because your weakness makes them feel better about their own. You learn to sit in discomfort without reaching for a distraction, because the only way out is through. And when those late nights come, when her name creeps back in, when your mind plays highlight reels of the good times, you breathe, acknowledge it, and let it pass. Not because you're heartless, but because you finally understand that emotion is not instruction, it's just energy. And your job isn't to react, it's to redirect, to use that energy as fuel to become the man who doesn't just survive heartbreak, but becomes dangerous in his purpose because of it. And you keep stacking these small wins, one day at a time, one decision at a time, until the voice in your head shifts from doubt to dominance, from what if she comes back to how far can I go now that she's gone. And rebuilding isn't flashy, it's not Instagram quotes and selfies at the gym. It's early mornings when no one's watching. It's choosing the hard thing when it would be easier to relapse. It's keeping promises to yourself when nobody's checking. It's owning your triggers instead of blaming others. It's knowing exactly what kind of man you're becoming and refusing to act outside of that vision. And slowly but surely, you realize you don't think about her anymore. Not because you forced it, but because your identity no longer includes her. She becomes irrelevant, not through hate, but through progress. And one day you'll be walking, thinking, building, and it will hit you. You're not that man anymore, the one who waited, the one who begged, the one who felt small in her presence. And it won't be a celebration. It'll be a quiet knowing that you've become something different, something grounded, sharp, precise, untouchable. Not because you found a new relationship or leveled up out of spite, but because you returned to yourself and rebuilt everything that got lost while chasing someone who never deserved your attention to begin with. And from that space, you don't even need closure, because the man you are now doesn't seek validation from people who couldn't love him when he was soft, because now you're forged, not by her absence, but by your choice to rise from it. Number 4. Confuse their expectations. She thought she had you figured out, down to your last reaction, your predictable replies, your emotional outbursts, the exact tone of your apologies, and the timing of your desperation, because she watched you fold the first time she withheld affection. She watched you panic when she posted something provocative. She tested your patience and found it had no limit, and she knew exactly how far to push before you'd still come crawling back with a soft voice and a plan to make things right, even when you weren't the one who crossed the line, even when you were the only one trying, because she had you trained without you even realizing it. And now that she's pulled away, or needed space, or done the classic move of staying connected just enough to make sure you don't fully move on while she explores her options, she expects more of the same. More begging, more soft texts at midnight, more pain she doesn't have to carry, more loyalty she didn't earn. And that's exactly why you have to break the script, because your silence, your non-reaction, your complete and utter refusal to play your old role in her drama, it shocks her system in ways words never could, because she expects volume, not stillness. She expects pursuit, not progress. She expects guilt, not grace. And when she checks your page and sees no signs of struggle, when her messages go unanswered, when her bait is met with indifference, her entire understanding of who you are collapses, because now you're not reacting on her timeline. You're not affirming her desirability through your brokenness. You're not chasing the ghost of a woman who discarded you, and that confusion eats at her because she was ready to move on while keeping you emotionally parked on standby, and instead you've turned off the engine and walked away, not in rage, but in purpose. And that's what makes it irreversible, not because you're pretending, not because you're playing hard to get, but because you've genuinely lost interest in things that don't build you. You've detached from the cycle of over-explaining and overthinking, and now she doesn't know what you feel, what you think, what your next move is. And that mystery isn't some pickup trick. It's the natural result of a man who no longer needs to be understood by someone who weaponized his vulnerability. And what you're doing is not about revenge. It's about removing her access to the parts of you she never valued, and that disruption, it resets the entire dynamic, because now she's left with her own questions, her own silence, her own reflection, and she hates it. Not because she loves you, but because she lost control of the narrative. And here's the part most men don't understand. You were never meant to win her back. You were meant to become someone she no longer qualifies for. And when you stop showing up where she expects chaos, when you stop performing like the hurt puppet she trained you to be, you become something else entirely. Untouchable, unreadable, unavailable to emotional games. And that version of you doesn't chase, doesn't seek approval, doesn't negotiate with people who already showed you they don't value what you bring. And the power in that kind of silence is brutal, because it's not fake, it's not temporary, it's not a tactic. It's a permanent shift in energy, a decision to no longer engage where you're not respected. And the beauty of this move is that she won't see it coming, because she thought your strength was in your words, in your efforts, in your pursuit. But it was always in your ability to detach, to remain calm, while everything she expected from you fades. And the longer you stay silent, the more her power fades, the more her reality reshapes, the more she questions everything she thought she knew about you. And even if she tries to come back, even if she tests the waters, she'll feel it, that you're no longer available, not physically, not emotionally, not spiritually. And that is the real win. Not that she wants you again, but that you no longer want her, because what she revealed in her absence was the truth about her loyalty, her depth, her values, and that truth killed the illusion. And in that new clarity, you rise, not as a reaction to her loss, but as a return to yourself, as someone who refuses to shrink again, who refuses to explain his worth again, who refuses to be emotionally hijacked by people who don't have the maturity to build with consistency. And from that point forward, your life becomes a new story, one where your peace is protected, your time is guarded, your energy is reserved only for things and people who actually match your efforts. And the beauty of this transformation is that she never sees it happen in real time. She only sees the after effects, the silence, the growth, the glow-up that wasn't done to make her jealous, but to reclaim what was always yours, your dignity, your focus, your edge. And every time she thinks about reaching out, about testing the waters, about reminding you of who she was, she'll be met with a man who no longer sees her the same way, not out of bitterness, but because he's finally healed from needing her. And that's the kind of confusion you don't have to create. You just become it by refusing to engage, and in doing so, you win, silently, completely, permanently. Number 5. Turn pain into power. Pain is the one thing most men run from their entire lives, not because they're weak, but because no one ever showed them what it looks like to sit with it and let it burn away the lies they've been told. To use it not as a reason to collapse, but as the very heat that forges something unbreakable. And right now, you're standing at that edge, the aftermath of being emotionally abandoned, disrespected, replaced, maybe even humiliated by someone you gave your best to, someone who didn't hesitate to discard your loyalty when it no longer served her, someone who played sweet just long enough to secure your commitment and then switched pulling away slowly, blaming you for her own emotional instability, pushing the blame with clever phrases and empty rationalizations until you were the one apologizing for reacting to being mistreated, and you took it. You swallowed your voice, convinced yourself that love is hard, that relationships need work, not realizing that you weren't building anything. You were bleeding for something that would never love you the way you needed. And now that she's gone, now that you've been ghosted, blocked, or replaced by some guy she swore was just a friend, the pain is no longer a threat. It's a mirror into who you became just to keep her interested. And when you look closely, you see the parts of yourself you gave away. Your standards, your priorities, your self-respect, traded piece by piece for moments of validation that never lasted. And this is the moment you either become bitter or better, either stay trapped in the narrative that you weren't enough, or rewrite it entirely by realizing she was never qualified to receive what you gave. And here's the truth you need to swallow. Her leaving was the blessing, because if she stayed, you'd still be negotiating with disrespect, still explaining your emotions to someone who only listened to reply, still defending your loyalty to someone whose loyalty was conditional. And now that she's not there to distract you, all that energy can be reclaimed and rerouted, because the fire in your chest isn't heartbreak, it's potential. The same drive that once obsessed over her can now obsess over your growth, your discipline, your rise. And you don't need her to regret losing you. You need to become the man she could never reach again. Not because you changed for revenge, but because you evolved into someone who simply doesn't bleed for temporary people anymore. And that means you start today, not tomorrow, not when it feels better, not when the emotions settle. Right now, you sit down and decide who you want to become in 6 months. You write it out in brutal detail, from your physical condition to your financial status to your mindset to your habits. And you reverse engineer every step backwards until you have a list of things to do daily that force you to become that version of you, and then you act, without hesitation, without needing motivation, without needing anyone to cheer you on. Because real transformation is done in silence, away from the noise, where you show up for yourself regardless of how it feels. And as you move forward, you stop trying to numb the pain with distractions. You stop chasing validation from women who remind you of her. You stop trying to prove anything to people who never saw your value to begin with, because your new life is not about being seen. It's about being solid, rooted, unmoved by praise or rejection. And it's in that state that true power is born, not because you've become some fake alpha caricature, but because you're finally whole, and that wholeness means you no longer attract chaos. You repel it because your energy no longer tolerates the games, the tests, the ambiguity. And when the pain creeps in, and it will, you don't resist it, you use it, let it sharpen you, remind you why you're doing this. Not to prove her wrong, but to prove to yourself that the man you were always capable of becoming is already inside you, buried under years of conditioning, compromise, and comfort. And with every rep, every book, every new habit, you chip away at the old you, the one who needed her, needed answers, needed closure. And instead of craving her attention, you crave progress, because you've tasted what it feels like to abandon yourself. And you'll never go back. You'll never fold again for someone who can't match your depth, your presence, your vision. And even if she returns, even if she finally sees your worth, it won't matter, because the man you've become will look at her and realize she doesn't belong in the room anymore, because the room was built by pain, purified by silence, and sustained by purpose. And only those who honor that process will ever be allowed in again. And when that day comes, when you're standing tall, focused, fulfilled, not because of anyone, but because you refuse to let heartbreak define you, that's when you'll finally understand the truth. Your pain was never your prison. It was your permission to become everything you were meant to be. And all it ever asked was that you stop running from it, sit with it, and let it lead you not into revenge, but into redemption. They told you to just move on. They told you to stay quiet, keep giving, be patient, be soft, while she disrespected you, replaced you, and moved like you never mattered. But deep down, you know the truth. The world isn't designed to make you strong. It's designed to keep you weak. The Stoic relationship blueprint was created to change that, filled with timeless principles no one ever taught you, the kind of truth that turns heartbreak into strength and silence into transformation. It's now available in audiobook, so you can start rebuilding your mind while you walk, train, work, or breathe. You'll never need permission again. You'll never beg for love again. And once you have it, it's yours for life, because power like this should never be hidden. Comment, "Silence is my strength," if you're ready to claim your copy. Like the video, subscribe, because every click helps more men escape the lies, stop chasing illusions, and reclaim the years they almost lost. The link's in the comments.